Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a truth that challenges how many of us think about faith and success. Prayer is powerful, yes. Prayer is necessary, absolutely. But prayer was never designed to replace responsibility. Prayer was never meant to excuse disorder. And prayer cannot fix what discipline refuses to handle. Many people are praying for results they are unwilling to prepare for. They ask God to bless what they refuse to manage. They want divine intervention, but they resist personal correction. You see, heaven responds to order, not chaos. God is not moved by emotion, He is moved by alignment. And alignment requires discipline. Prayer invites God into your life, but discipline creates the environment where God's presence can remain. You can pray for financial breakthrough, but if you lack discipline in spending, your prayers will collapse under your habits. You can pray for spiritual growth, but if you lack discipline in time, character, and obedience, your prayer life becomes noise without transformation. Today, we're not here to pray harder. We're here to live better. We're here to understand that discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. And when discipline and prayer walk together, destiny responds. Prayer is a powerful spiritual exercise, but discipline is a personal decision. Many people misunderstand the role of prayer in their lives because they use it as a substitute for responsibility instead of a support system for obedience. Discipline is the management of what God has already placed in your control. Before you ask heaven to intervene, you must examine what has been assigned to you. Prayer does not cancel assignment. Prayer does not remove accountability. Prayer does not replace structure. Prayer gives strength to fulfill responsibility. But responsibility must first be accepted. Life responds to laws before it responds to prayers. A farmer can pray for harvest, but if he refuses to discipline himself to plant, water, and protect the seed, the soil will not respond to his prayer. This is not a lack of faith, it is a lack of understanding. Faith works within principles. Discipline is alignment with principle. God established systems before He invited prayers. Order existed before requests existed. Discipline is your agreement with order. Many people are praying against consequences instead of correcting behaviors. They want relief, not reform. They want escape, not structure. Discipline is the ability to delay pleasure, control impulses, manage time, and submit desires to purpose. Prayer will give you awareness, but discipline will give you progress. Prayer will give you direction, but discipline will give you results. Prayer may open your eyes, but discipline trains your hands. Responsibility is the proof of maturity. Immature people blame circumstances. Disciplined people manage choices. You cannot pray your way out of disorganization. You cannot pray your way out of laziness. You cannot pray your way out of poor character. Prayer will expose what discipline must correct. When discipline is absent, prayer becomes emotional noise without practical change. God does not reward intention. He responds to obedience. Discipline is obedience in daily form. It is the small decisions repeated consistently. It is choosing structure when motivation is absent. It is choosing order when feelings are unstable. Prayer gives you desire, but discipline gives you endurance. Desire without discipline produces frustration. Discipline without prayer produces pride. But prayer combined with discipline produces transformation. You cannot ask God to manage what He gave you authority over. Authority requires discipline. Time is given to everyone equally, but discipline determines who multiplies it. Energy is given daily, but discipline decides how it is invested. Opportunity appears to many, but discipline qualifies who sustains it. Prayer may bring opportunity, but discipline keeps it alive. Some people are asking God to change their future while refusing to change their routines. Your routine is the evidence. Prayer was never designed to cooperate with excuses. It was designed to partner with order. Whenever prayer is disconnected from structure, it loses its power, to produce results in the physical world. Order is the language creation understands. Systems respond to alignment, not emotion. Prayer activates spiritual authority, but order gives that authority somewhere to operate. When there is no order, prayer has nothing to reinforce. Many people use prayer as a hiding place for indiscipline. They pray instead of planning. They fast instead of fixing habits. They worship instead of organizing their lives. Prayer does not ignore disorder, it exposes it. The presence of God highlights areas that require correction. Prayer does not lower the standard, it raises awareness of the standard. Order is not optional, it is fundamental. God functions by principles, not preferences. Principles do not respond to tears, they respond to compliance. You can pray passionately, but if your life is unmanaged, your prayers will collide with chaos. Order creates predictability. Order creates stability. Order allows growth to remain sustained. Without order, any blessing becomes a burden. Prayer may bring increase, but order determines whether that increase will bless or destroy you. Excuses are evidence of misplaced responsibility. Whenever someone says, "I am waiting on God," but refuses to act on what they already know, they are not waiting, they are avoiding. Prayer does not remove personal initiative. Prayer sharpens initiative. Prayer gives clarity, but order requires discipline to execute that clarity. Excuses weaken prayer because excuses protect dysfunction. You cannot expect prayer to override principles that govern life. Sleep is a principle. Work is a principle. Time is a principle. Integrity is a principle. Prayer does not cancel these realities. Prayer empowers you to honor them. When prayer is used to justify disorder, it becomes spiritual denial. God does not bless confusion. He does not sustain chaos. He does not partner with excuses. Order is proof of understanding. When you understand purpose, you organize your life around it. When purpose is unclear, life becomes random. Prayer brings revelation of purpose, but order proves that revelation has been received. Disorder is often a sign that revelation has been ignored. Prayer speaks, order responds. Prayer reveals, order implements. Many are asking for divine favor while living without divine order. Favor does not function in disorganization. Favor accelerates whatever structure already exists. If your structure is weak, favor exposes it faster. Order prepares you for favor. Discipline maintains favor. Prayer invites favor, but order qualifies you to keep it. Excuses are comfortable because they delay responsibility. Order is uncomfortable because it demands change. Prayer gives calm, thought, but order demands transformation. Transformation requires consistency. Consistency requires discipline. Discipline requires honesty. Excuses collapse under honesty. Prayer will confront excuses if you listen carefully. Heaven does not respond to intentions, it responds to alignment. Alignment requires order in thinking, order in time management, order in relationships, order in priorities. Prayer without order produces spiritual awareness without physical results. Order turns spiritual insight into visible progress. When prayer and order walk together, life begins to function properly. Decisions become clearer. Actions become intentional. Growth becomes predictable. Stability becomes normal. Prayer strengthens resolve, but order directs that strength. Without order, strength is wasted. Without discipline, prayer becomes repetition without manifestation. God does not fix what you refuse to organize. He does not manage what you refuse to discipline. Prayer partners with order, not excuses. And when excuses are removed, clarity replaces confusion, consistency replaces chaos, and progress becomes inevitable. Even when circumstances are challenging, even when emotions fluctuate, even when motivation fades, because order does not depend on feelings but on commitment. And commitment is the foundation upon which prayer can stand and operate effectively, consistently, and powerfully. God empowers discipline. He does not replace it. Empowerment is the release of ability, not the removal of responsibility. Many people misunderstand divine help because they expect God to do what He has already enabled them to do. Empowerment means you are strengthened to act, not excused from action. When God empowers a person, He increases capacity, clarity, courage, and endurance, but He still requires choice, effort, and consistency. Power without discipline becomes potential without productivity. From the beginning, authority was given before assistance was promised. Responsibility preceded intervention. Dominion came with expectation. Empowerment was never permission for negligence. It was authorization for management. God empowers humans to govern, not to abdicate. Discipline is governance over self. If a person cannot govern habits, time, thoughts, and decisions, empowerment becomes dangerous. Power magnifies whatever it touches. Without discipline, power magnifies disorder. Prayer releases strength, but discipline directs that strength. Prayer may increase your awareness, but discipline determines your application. Awareness without application creates frustration. Knowledge without discipline produces arrogance. Revelation without discipline leads to instability. God empowers you to carry responsibility, not to escape it. Empowerment increases expectation. The more power you receive, the more discipline is required to sustain it. Many people are asking God to take control of areas He has already placed under their stewardship. Stewardship demands discipline. You cannot ask God to control your time when you refuse to manage it. You cannot ask God to fix your character while ignoring correction. You cannot ask God to bless your work while rejecting consistency. Empowerment does not cancel effort. It sanctifies effort. Discipline is not self-reliance. It is self-management under divine guidance. There is a difference between trusting God and testing God. Testing God is refusing discipline and demanding outcomes. Trusting God is practicing discipline while depending on His strength. Empowerment means God supplies what you lack so you can do what you must. He supplies wisdom so you can decide correctly. He supplies strength so you can persist. He supplies peace so you can remain focused. But He does not live your life for you. God empowers discipline through conviction, not coercion. He speaks to conscience, not compulsion. He leads, but He does not drag. Discipline requires willingness. Willingness is the doorway to empowerment. Resistance blocks empowerment. Excuses weaken empowerment. Justification cancels growth. When discipline is embraced, empowerment flows naturally. You cannot pray for empowerment while rejecting structure. Structure is the framework through which power operates. Electricity without wiring is destructive. Water without boundaries becomes a flood. Empowerment without discipline destroys relationships, careers, and callings. God withholds nothing, but He releases power in proportion to maturity. Maturity is revealed by discipline. Many people confuse emotional experiences with empowerment. Empowerment is not excitement, it is endurance. It is the ability to remain consistent when emotion disappears. Discipline is evidence of empowerment. If empowerment is real, discipline will follow. If discipline is absent, empowerment has been misunderstood. God does not empower laziness. He empowers diligence. He does not empower chaos. He empowers order. Discipline trains the empowered person to say no. No to distraction. No to impulse. No to delay. No to compromise. Prayer may inspire desire, but discipline protects direction. Empowerment without discipline leads to burnout. Discipline channels empowerment into sustainable progress. God empowers you to wake up on time, not to pray away lateness. He empowers you to plan, not to spiritualize procrastination. He empowers you to forgive, not to justify bitterness. Power is released for purpose, not comfort. Discipline aligns comfort with purpose. When discipline is missing, people misuse empowerment to serve ego instead of assignment. God empowers for service. Discipline keeps service pure. Empowerment increases influence. Discipline preserves integrity. Without discipline, influence corrupts character. Prayer activates divine partnership, but partnership requires cooperation. Cooperation requires discipline. God will not override your will to fulfill His will. He empowers your will to choose correctly. Discipline is the daily agreement between your will and His purpose. Each disciplined decision is a response to empowerment already given. You cannot pray for more power while refusing to submit to correction. Correction is a gift of empowerment. Discipline receives correction without offense. Pride rejects correction and then blames God for stagnation. Empowerment flows where humility allows discipline to grow. God empowers discipline through vision. When vision is clear, discipline becomes easier. When purpose is understood, sacrifice becomes acceptable. Prayer clarifies vision, but discipline proves commitment to that vision. Empowerment gives you the strength to stay aligned when distractions increase, when opposition rises, when pressure intensifies. God does not replace discipline because discipline develops capacity. Capacity determines what you can carry. Empowerment increases weight, but discipline strengthens the structure. Without discipline, increased weight causes collapse. God is not against blessing, He is against breakdown. Discipline prevents breakdown. Empowerment is not magic, it is management supported by grace. Grace does not excuse disorder, it empowers obedience. Discipline is obedience in motion. Every time discipline is practiced, empowerment becomes visible. Every time discipline is ignored, empowerment is wasted. God empowers discipline so destiny can be fulfilled. Led without destruction so success can be sustained without corruption. So growth destiny does not respond to intensity. It responds to consistency. Many people believe that a single powerful moment can change a lifetime. But destiny is shaped by repeated decisions, not emotional peaks. Intensity is loud, visible, and impressive. But consistency is quiet, disciplined, and productive. Destiny is not impressed by how strongly you feel in a moment. It is shaped by what you do repeatedly when no one is watching. Intensity can start a journey, but it cannot sustain it. Consistency builds momentum. A person can pray intensely, fast intensely, worship intensely, and still remain stagnant if discipline is not practiced daily. Destiny requires patterns, not performances. It is not the dramatic action that determines the future. It is the daily habit that defines direction. What you repeat eventually becomes who you are. Many people wait for motivation to act, but destiny does not wait for motivation. Motivation is unstable because it depends on emotion. Consistency is stable because it depends on decision. Discipline chooses action even when desire is absent. Destiny responds to those who show up daily, not those who appear occasionally with great passion. Intensity impresses people. Consistency impresses life. Success is predictable when discipline is consistent. Failure is also predictable when discipline is absent. Destiny follows law, not feelings. Laws respond to obedience. A PE. Our son who is consistent does not rely on excitement. They rely on structure. Structure allows progress even on difficult days. Structure carries you when enthusiasm fades. Many people confuse busyness with consistency. Doing many things occasionally is not discipline. Discipline is doing the right thing repeatedly. Consistency requires focus. Focus eliminates distraction. Destiny does not reward scattered effort. It rewards concentrated commitment over time. Small actions repeated daily carry more power than large actions done occasionally. Prayer can ignite passion, but consistency turns passion into progress. Passion without consistency becomes frustration. Consistency without passion becomes routine, but routine builds mastery. Mastery is the language destiny understands. Destiny opens doors for those who have proven reliability. Reliability is consistency demonstrated over time. Some people experience powerful spiritual moments but fail to translate them into disciplined living. Moments inspire, habits transform. Destiny is not unlocked by moments, it is unlocked by habits aligned with purpose. Consistency is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Without that bridge, intention remains trapped in imagination. Intensity seeks quick results, consistency accepts process. Destiny unfolds through process. Process requires patience. Patience is discipline over time. People who chase intensity often abandon the process when results delay. People who practice consistency remain steady regardless of visible progress. Destiny favors those who do not quit. Consistency trains character. Character sustains destiny. Intensity can elevate a person temporarily, but character determines longevity. Without character, destiny collapses under pressure. Consistency builds character quietly, steadily, and deeply. Every disciplined choice reinforces identity. Identity shapes destiny. Many people want sudden breakthroughs but resist daily obedience. Breakthrough is often the reward of long-term consistency. Destiny recognizes patterns before it releases platforms. Consistency proves readiness. Readiness attracts opportunity. Opportunity expands destiny. Consistency requires discipline in thought, speech, time, and behavior. A person cannot live inconsistently and expect a stable future. Destiny mirrors lifestyle. What you tolerate daily becomes what you experience permanently. Discipline eliminates harmful tolerances. Consistency establishes healthy standards. Intensity fades when circumstances change. Consistency adapts and continues. Destiny requires endurance. Endurance is sustained consistency under pressure. Those who endure are those who have trained themselves through discipline, not those who rely on emotional strength. Emotional strength fluctuates. Disciplined strength remains. Destiny is not reached by those who try hardest, but by those who remain faithful to the process. Faithfulness is consistency in action. Faithfulness proves trustworthiness. Destiny entrusts responsibility to those who have demonstrated faithfulness in small things. Consistency in small actions qualifies a person for larger assignments. Prayer strengthens resolve, but consistency proves resolve. Resolve without consistency is ambition without discipline. Destiny does not respond to ambition alone. It responds to aligned action over time. Each consistent step may seem insignificant, but together they create irreversible progress. Consistency removes excuses. Excuses thrive on inconsistency. Discipline exposes excuses by demanding repetition. When repetition becomes normal, excuses lose power. Destiny advances when excuses retreat. A consistent life leaves little room for self-deception. Intensity celebrates beginnings. Consistency completes journeys. Many start well, but few finish strong. Destiny is fulfilled by finishers. Finishers are disciplined. They do not depend on feelings to move forward. They depend on commitment. Commitment produces consistency. Consistency shapes destiny. Every consistent action is a vote for the future you are creating. Destiny is not accidental, it is cumulative. It is the result of choices compounded over time. Those who respect consistency position themselves for sustained success, stable growth, and lasting impact, even when progress is slow, even when recognition is absent, even when effort feels unnoticed, because destiny is never built in a moment but formed through discipline, consistency, practice day after day, choice after choice, habit after habit, decision after decision, shaping a future that aligns with purpose and endures beyond emotion, beyond excitement, beyond intensity, beyond circumstances.